Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're going to look past the daily price ticker to really dig into the massive forces that are shaping the future of crypto.
All right, you know the drill. You open up your phone, you see the headlines. Bitcoin is up, Ethereum is down. It's the first question on everyone's mind, and honestly, it kind of dominates the entire conversation.
But here's the thing. What if that's completely the wrong question to be asking? What if focusing on that daily number is like staring at a single little wave while a giant tsunami is building up way out on the horizon?
Yeah, because the real story, the one that's actually going to matter in the long run, is all happening behind the scenes, behind those price charts. It's a story about global adoption, technology that's finally growing up, and, well, the inevitable arrival of the regulators.
So first things first, we have got to look beyond the day-to-day chaos, beyond that daily dip, and see the global recovery that's already happening.
You know, the smart money, the experts, they're starting to see this fundamental shift. Like Kyle Chassé says here, this isn't just about speculation anymore. Bitcoin is, well, it's evolving. Its role in the global financial system is changing right in front of our eyes.
And it's not just talk. The data backs this up completely. I mean, while everyone was panicking about the 2022 crash, something amazing was happening under the surface. Global crypto use was making this huge comeback. Get this, adoption is now higher than it was during the peak of the last bull market. The trend is pretty clear. The real underlying growth is just not tied to that daily price noise anymore.
So, who's behind all this? Who's driving this huge recovery? Well, it's not just one group. It's really a tale of two very different kinds of users, creating a global crypto stampede for totally different reasons.
Okay, so on one side, you've got the big players in wealthy countries. We're talking institutional money just flooding in. I mean, just look at the new Bitcoin ETFs. They didn't just beat the launch of the first gold ETF, they absolutely crushed it. It wasn't even a contest. This was the single most successful ETF launch in history. That tells you there was this massive pent-up demand from Wall Street.
And look, this isn't just some crypto bull talking. This is coming from BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers on the planet. Kevin Tang from their team calls it historic. This is a huge signal, right? Crypto isn't some weird niche thing anymore. It's being woven into the fabric of traditional finance.
But that's only half the picture. Because for millions, and I mean millions of other people, this has nothing to do with getting rich. It's about survival. You look at a place like Argentina, where their currency is in free fall. People there are rushing to stablecoins just to protect their life savings from being wiped out by inflation. For them, it's not an investment, it's a lifeline.
And so when you put those two worlds together, you get this really fascinating picture. Look at this list of the top 5 countries for grassroots adoption. You've got the US, a financial giant, right next to places like India, Nigeria, and Vietnam. It's incredible. It shows this is a truly global movement, happening for totally different reasons, but all pointing the same direction.
Okay, but think about it. You can't have this global stampede running on rickety, unreliable tech. It just doesn't work. For any of this to last, the infrastructure underneath has to be absolutely rock solid. And that brings us to this quiet revolution happening in the background, building that new foundation.
Let's take Solana as a perfect example. A few years ago, it was kind of the butt of a lot of jokes, right? Super fast, yeah, but it was famous for just crashing, constantly going down. But look at the transformation. They just hit a full year of 100% uptime. That is a massive deal. It's a huge milestone for the network. And it's not just about preventing crashes. It's about what happens when something does go wrong. What used to be this chaotic, days-long scramble to get things back online is now a smooth 5-hour process. That shows you a level of maturity that builds real, actual trust. And they're not stopping there. The next big upgrade, Fire Dancer, is a game changer. They're targeting over 1 million transactions per second. But even more important is that it's a totally separate piece of software. So a bug in one client won't take down the entire network. This is how you build for the long haul.
So, you've got billions of dollars flooding in. You've got tech that's becoming seriously reliable. What happens next? Well, it's inevitable, isn't it? The watchers show up. Regulators, law enforcement, they're here, and they've got some seriously powerful tools.
And their main tool is something called blockchain analytics. Basically, it's super smart software that can scan a public blockchain, follow the money from one transaction to the next, and eventually connect those anonymous-looking wallet addresses to real people and places.
You know, for the longest time, the big myth about crypto was that it was totally anonymous. Well, this is the new reality. Every single transaction is on a public, permanent record. Sure, your name isn't attached directly, but your activity is. And with these new tools, investigators can follow that digital trail with scary precision.
And hey, don't take it from me. The U.S. Department of Justice could not be more clear about this. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco put it plainly. They can and they will follow the money, no matter what it looks like. The whole idea of some lawless Wild West, yeah, those days are ending. Fast.
So where does all this leave us? Well, it brings us to a huge moment, a real crossroads for the entire world of crypto.
On one side, you've got the bull. This is that raw, explosive energy of crypto we've been talking about, the global adoption, the tech getting better every day, and that unstoppable spirit of innovation. But on the other side, you've got the detective. This is the arrival of sophisticated regulation, powerful analytics, and the kind of oversight that big institutions demand. And right now, these two forces are colliding.
And that collision leaves us with what is probably the single most important question for the future of this industry. Is all this oversight going to build the trust needed for crypto to go truly mainstream? Or is it going to crush the very permissionless, rebellious spirit that made it so revolutionary in the first place?
There's really no easy answer here, but one thing is absolutely for sure. The future of money is being rewritten right now as we speak. The only question left is, who's going to be holding the pen?